Good afternoon, and welcome to the Confident, Courageous, and Creative Women Empowered Summit. My name is Janetta Ellison, and I'm the proud president of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, New Omicron Zeta chapter that services the San Fernando Valley. So today we're here to celebrate women history, finer womanhood. This is such a phenomenal day. I'm so excited to have you guys all here with us because I love sharing space with women who look like me and who have passion like me. And today I guarantee that as you guys tune in to this panel that we have in the workshops that we're offering, that you too will be inspired and uplifted. It's so important in today's time that as Black women and just women of color that we come together and we share space and we share energy together. So let me introduce to you the moderators for this phenomenal panel that we have today. The first moderator for today that I'm going to introduce to you is Dr. Sharifa Maivet. Dr. Sharifa Maivet is a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated and an active member of the New Omicron Zeta chapter. Dr. Maivet is a licensed marriage and family therapist who has a master's degree in psychology with the emphasis in marriage and family therapy and school counseling, and holds a doctorate of psychology and organizational management and consulting. As an entrepreneur herself, she is a behavioral health consultant that lends her expertise in training facilitation and program development. Dr. Maivet is a co-host of a weekly podcast, A Seat at the Table. As a 9-to-5, she's a clinical administrator for a juvenile residential treatment facility, and her 24/7 passion is being a dedicated mother to her loving 11-year-old son. Welcome, Dr. Maivet. Thank you for being here with us. Our next moderator is Mosey Tamara Odom. Mosey Tamara Odom has a heart for community involvement, organizational development, and business excellence. She is a woman of excellence, purpose, and vision who ushers innovative strategy to shift and advance the individual, community, and business alike. She joined our illustrious sisterhood in the spring of 1999 through the Delta Eta chapter at California State University Northridge, Long Beach. California University Long Beach. She currently serves in the Sigma Eta Zeta chapter in Long Beach, California. Mosey is the loving mother of her two sons, Jeremiah, 19, and Josiah, 10. Mosey is dedicated to outpouring her talents for community, wellness, and youth enrichment through mentoring, building relationships, and businesses. And this is welcome to our awesome, amazing moderators. Thank you, ladies, for being here. I'm so excited to have you guys here with us. And I just look forward to this afternoon that we're going to spend together. Like I like to call it a power hour, right? Yes. It's a power hour where we can come together and we are going to be, I guess, impactful. Because I think anything that we do in life, we want to make sure that it's done with purpose and it's intentional and that we're able to touch those that we come in contact with. So I'm looking forward to hearing all the knowledge that our phenomenal panel has to offer. And now I pass the floor on to you, ladies.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that amazing introduction, Janetta. Hi, Mosey.
Hi,
Sharifa. Yay. All right. We want to thank you guys again for joining us today. I am so excited to co-moderate this panel of amazing women entrepreneurs. In today's time, women are starting and running businesses at a stunning rate, right? There are 114% more women running businesses and starting businesses than there were 20 years ago, right? So it's just so fulfilling to witness her story, right? You caught that? Her story. So I'm going to pass it on to you, Mosey, to begin to introduce our amazing panelists.
You know, so timely. So, and we just, as we read these bios, grab a pen. I'm telling you, this is powerhouse that's coming to you. You're going to want to take notes and follow them and follow up. Okay. So we're going to start with Miss Monique Bryant. Monique is the founder of a beauty brand management and creative direction agency, The Raven Woman. She has nearly 20 years of career service in the beauty industry, from makeup artistry to supporting brands and professionals as a creative advisor to define their business. Welcome, Miss Monique.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for that introduction. Yes, my name is Miss Monique or Monique Bryant. I own a beauty brand management company, as she mentioned, called The Raven Woman. And in case anyone is curious as to why it's called The Raven Woman, ravens are Black, right? And raven is a totem known for manifesting your dreams. And so as a Black woman and as it being herstory and all of the amazing things that we do, I thought it was a very fitting name for my agency that I started nearly 2 years ago. And I'm excited to talk to you all about it today. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next panelist, go ahead, Sharifa.
All right. Our next panelist, Noemi Pavan, is a Chief Executive Officer, the Pavan Leadership Firm, LLC, a national leadership and educational coaching firm that specializes in asset-based and culturally responsive approach to leadership and team development. I love it. Strategic planning and instructional program development. She is also a course creator for Solidarity, Healing Empowerment, SHE, an executive leadership development experience curated for women of color in educational leadership. She has 14 years in education, leadership coach, clinical faculty member at Columbia University. I am so sorry. She is deeply passionate about working with individuals, teams, and organizations to disrupt the status quo. Her work includes working with teams for some of the nation's largest school districts, Wellstar, the largest healthcare system in Georgia, and a Fortune 500 and Fortune 500 companies such as Coca-Cola. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here, everyone.
Awesome. So coming to the stage, our next panelist is Miss Ingrid Hadley. Ingrid is the principal of ILH Possibilities, a consultancy firm with expertise in development, execution, and management services for enterprise people operations, human resources, and diversity and inclusion teams. She partners with startup and established organizations to augment employee engagement, develop employee resource group models, construct and facilitate employee development programs, and create inclusive and equitable workspaces. Her mission is to create space and opportunity for everyone. She's a native of Los Angeles and approaches her work with the mindset that it is a joy to make space for everyone. Welcome to the panel, Ingrid.
Hi, thank you so much. Every time I hear that bio read, I'm like, who are they even talking about? At the end of the day, yes, my name is Ingrid Hadley. I am the principal and founder of ILH Possibilities. I named my company that after being in corporate America, more specifically at NBC Universal for about 19 years, in a corporate diversity and inclusion role the last 6 years there. And, there were always limitations, and I don't believe there should ever be limitations in life. I believe anything is possible. As these ladies have said, I joyfully make space. It is great to be able to go in and hold space and really speak truth to power every day in a way that I was never able to do in a corporate space. So what I do is I go in and I work with companies in media, tech, hospitality, social services, and we disrupt culture. That's what we do. We go in and we say why, and let's change that. And so I'm just happy to be here with these amazing women today. Thank you very much for the introduction.
All right. Thank you for that. Next, we have Latanza Price, a Los Angeles native, launched her global enterprise Priceless Moment, an event and management pro company in 2017. She has a corporate background in organizational management, event planning, and operational logistics. Latanza has been an asset to many corporations and is well connected in the entertainment and corporate sector, where she has brokered relationships through collaboration, strategic partnerships, and alliances. As an event specialist, Latanza Price has always had a divine eye for detail and creative soul. As the owner of Priceless Moments, she radiates a sincere passion to thrive in momentum through expression of individuality and celebratory bliss. Latanza prides herself on being strong, fearless, opinionated, enthusiastic, and a determined leader who is self-motivated and driven in service. Welcome, Latanza.
Thank you so much. It is such a pleasure to be here with all of you guys today. We are the owner of Priceless Moments. We are a official woman and minority certified event firm and production company. We were incepted in 2017, and since then we have been able to just really pay homage as well as celebrate great and momentous events for all different sectors, from government to officials to social sector to nonprofit to a lot of different industries. We are basically your one-stop shop need for all event planning and all event needs. We love just really enthusiasming the moment and the events in terms of what we can bring to your vision and what we can do overall. We do have a strong base of different partnerships within our communities, and most of all, we do really cater to making your next event momentous. Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you. Okay. Next, we have Tanya McKenzie. As the founder of Sands and Shores, she brings more than 20 years of experience in public relations, leadership, marketing, and client relations. Her nonprofit experience includes being an associate executive director, raising over $1 million to open a new YMCA in Northern California, serving as the first Black elected director for the Oakley Chamber of Commerce, being appointed in the Youth Council for Contra Costa County by Supervisor Federal Glover, the first African American woman to be elected to the Redondo Beach Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, and the first African American to be elected as the president of North Redondo Beach Business Association. Tanya became a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated in the spring of 1995 and chartered a graduate chapter, Omega Kappa Zeta, in Northern California. She currently holds a seat on the Redondo Beach Police Department Engagement Board, Vice President of Public Relations Society LA, and the City of Redondo Beach, GPAC. Welcome, Tanya.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm always excited to be here with y'all, my girls, the people that continue to enrich me and fulfill me and empower me. So thank you so much for having me here. Sands and Shores, yes, it's a company that I founded because there was a need for an organization to come in and help these organizations that service the community tell their true story. So we tell real stories, true stories that have a powerful effect on real lives. We work mostly with nonprofits, civic, and law enforcement organizations, helping them tell their story to their target audience, which is usually the community that they serve. Most of these organizations get our tax dollars. We don't know what they're doing with them, right? It's not that they're not doing the work, we just don't know what that is. So I'm able to help them with their leadership, disrupting their culture, and you guys can imagine how difficult that can be, and really find those stories that help us, their public, understand what they are doing. So I appreciate being here. I love it. I have 2 podcasts. One is also with a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, LA County Sheriff. And you can tell those are some very difficult issues. So we always challenge ourselves and our listeners and our guests to really simplify complex issues through conversation. Those are the things that I love to do. It helps empower our communities, and I just love it. So thank you guys for having me, and I look forward to the rest of this day.
Thank you.
Awesome. We are so excited to feature each one of you and hear from you. Of course, for those who are watching, again, grab a pen and paper. You're going to want to take notes, okay? And so we have some pre-selected questions for our panelists. So here we go with our first question. We're going to ask that you speak to the tools and skill set you apply individually to help have longevity with your business. And Ingrid, do you want to take that question first?
Sure, I'll take it. So I'm a God's girl. I spend time with God. I am going to be 58 years old in June, and I made a lot of mistakes with my own mindset, thinking I know everything. So I literally got the download from God. I accept the fact that I'm the owner of my company and that there is no one else to blame. Even if I hire a facilitator that doesn't deliver the content the way that I asked them to do it, it was my job to go through the due diligence to make sure they were the right person to represent my company. Keep your relationships intact. 90% of my business is all referrals. People do go to my website. You know, if I track if I use that as traction, it doesn't really show me who I am. What shows me who I am is that people hire me without references. That's what shows me who I am. And then building the reputation, right? It takes about 3 years to build a reputation for doing something. That's what I have learned, right? So you can say you're doing something, doesn't mean you're doing it. You can have 250,000 followers on Twitter or on Facebook. That doesn't mean anything. If their followers aren't yielding business for you, it's just popularity. Ask for feedback. So for me, I ask for feedback from those I trust, right? Not those that I trust them to tell me the truth and love, right? People that I know that are rooting for me, that want to see me do better. And then anytime I produce an experience, whether I'm unpacking bias or I'm going in to launch for a day, a professional coaching program, I always want to hear from the folks that attended the program, right? Because I want to hear from the one that had the problem with the thing that I said, right? Because that may actually tell me how I should respond to it differently the next time. So feedback is also important. I educate myself consistently. Cornell just, they used to have a diversity program when I went to college. Now I guess they have one, but I can tell you right now, I could probably teach the course. Doesn't mean I know everything though. Okay. So with that said, I'm always listening to podcasts. I'm always reading books. I'm always looking at people who are not in the same business that I'm in and how they iterate their business models and make them better. And then I work on the next 5 years always. I'm always working on the next 5 years because at the end of the day, I use the SNL model for my business. We bring people in, they come, we work together, we use our resources, and then they go. And we send them out, and pretty soon I won't show up, and it'll all be about mailbox money for me, right? So I'm always looking at business models that create passive income for me, right? So that because after a while my voice goes, I can't keep showing up. I'm too old for this, right? So I'm always trying to bring folks in and create a business model that allows them to move out, right?
Uplift, yes. Continuous education. Tanya, speak to this.
Yes.
Speak to this.
So skills, interpersonal skills are hugely important, not just in my business, in every business. So if you are working for someone or if you have your own business, you need to be a good storyteller. You need to know and learn how to resonate what you do with other people, right? That's how you get people to know, like, and trust you. You have to learn how to do that. If you don't, get someone to teach you. It is integral. Authenticity. I know we all live in this world where we want everybody to like us, but that's not really what it's about. People want to get to know you. They don't want to get to know the person you think they want to know. So having a high level of authenticity is incredibly huge. Listen, for Sand and Shores, I lean into our ability to teach people how to be lifetime learners. That is something that, she stated earlier, you have to be a lifetime learner. You can never know too much. My podcast is Leaders and Learners, and we talk to individuals that have been at the peak of their career and they're still learning. So you got to read, you got to continue to educate yourself. You're never in a place where it's just okay to be complacent. We need you to be better, especially my sisters out there. We have to be better. So always be looking to learn more and be better. And then lastly, I think most important is, what was I going to tell you? Be a listener, be an active listener. That is something that no one ever teaches us. We learn to listen, to respond. We need to be better listeners to hear, especially as business owners, what our constituency, what our customers want to hear and what they need help with, instead of assuming we have their answers. We can't really help them if we haven't listened to what their concerns or what their issues are. So be an active listener and make sure you start to lean into who you are, your authenticity, and be able to tell your story in a way that resonates with your target market.
Thank you, Tanya. Lifetime learners, active listening, both of our panelists, that lifetime learning and authenticity. Ooh,
I told you. I hope you're taking notes.
I'm writing notes. I think you guys hit the nail on the head. I wrote the same thing, lifelong learner, business models, and listening. As business owners, you want to know what your business model is, but you have to, and it has to be a strong foundation, but you have to keep your ears to the streets, right? We have to learn how to adapt and grow. So you guys hit the nail on the head. Let's see. Our next question, Noemi. Can you share the path that led you to full-time entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship in general?
Yeah, thanks so much for that question. So I actually started my career in what I call the front lines of education as a classroom teacher. I was obsessed and still am obsessed with creating revolutionary learning spaces where kids are literally at the edge of their seats, not wanting to miss a single minute of learning. I wanted to build and create a space where kids wanted to learn and engage and be liberated. And I accomplished that by tapping into their innate potentials. From that work, I wanted to expand my impact. So I'm a former middle and high school turnaround principal, both in Atlanta as well as in South Carolina. And what I realized in doing that work is that if we really want to revolutionize education and turn around education and create spaces where our kids are liberated, the reality is that we as the adults have to be liberated first. We have to relearn what it's like to be excited about learning again, what it's like to be okay with walking into a classroom and not having to sit in rows and listen to someone talk the entire time. And so I just became obsessed with also tapping into the innate potentials of the leaders, of the teachers, of the adults in the building. And from that turnaround work, I was able to lead a school where we turned around the school a waiting list. It went from under enrolled to a waiting list in less than a year. Scores increased exponentially. There was just a breath of fresh air that came with that wave of liberation. And I knew that I was being called to create something and expand my impact. And that's when I started the Pavone Leadership Firm. We are a national leadership and educational coaching firm. And now districts and organizations contact us to coach cohorts of their principals and cohorts of their leaders. And the work that we are doing, that our principals are doing, just because someone is able to tap into their innate potential, just because they are able to bring their own experiences to the table and know that they are enough, and because they understand their strengths, they then spend their time in their strengths, not from their deficits, and they're able to lead those learning spaces. And so that's how my journey to entrepreneurship came. There's obviously a lot more that is involved. We all know that. It looks really sexy from the outside, but we know that it is long hours. It is days and of you questioning your whole self and everything in you. But it is a calling, and it is out of obedience that, for me, I think a lot of us become entrepreneurs. And thank you so much for that. And I'm looking forward to hearing someone else's response.
Yes, thank you so much. Let's see, Monique, can we hear from you? Same question.
Yes. And I love this question because my path, I started out in cosmetics at 17, and I became a counter manager. And I was so lucky and blessed to actually work for a brand called Fashion Fair. I don't know if anybody in the audience is familiar with that brand, owned by, Ebony Magazine and all of that. And so, that was when I found my passion for cosmetics. And I became a counter manager, and I was like, it was more about the business. It was more about connecting with people and being able to align both of those things. And eventually, when I went off to college in New York, I was getting my degree, I was working in communications. And then thankfully I was able to, still be a freelance makeup artist, behind the scenes, working on short films and things like that. But I still felt like something was missing. I was always inspired by other people's stories, the stylists I was working with, the other makeup artists, and the the things that they aspire to do. And so I wasn't necessarily sure if I wanted to do management. Did I want to be an agent? I didn't really know what that was. And so what happened is eventually I went on to work for a company called Unilever in one of their professional hair care divisions. And in that space, I was working in the creative marketing department and meeting all of these international hairdressers, you know, who you'd see working New York Fashion Week, things like that. And still they weren't, you know, fulfilled in what they were doing. You know, I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to help them manifest this big idea and take my business background and help them get to that goal. You know, because sometimes what we don't realize is that we go to school, we get these jobs, and, you know, we're in our careers and we feel like we're enough. And we always get to a point where we're like, okay, we're stuck. And so, you know, my goal is to help brands and, you know, primarily startups and beauty professionals, you know, figure out what that is. And also not just figuring out what it is, but also the longevity of who it is that they want to be and where they want to take their brands or take who they are as individuals. And so that is why I started my agency. I like to manifest ideas. I like to put organization behind it. I like to be a think incubator for them. And, you know, and through my business, I've been able to meet a lot of amazing people, you know, editors at large that have come on into my business, who help we create these large brand identities for these individuals, for these startups, and make them more premium than they ever thought that they originally wanted to be, you know, because a lot of times what happens is we'll put all of our money into buying Tom Ford's makeup, Marc Jacobs makeup, Christian Dior, whatever. And then when we decide to start our own brands, we'll only do so much. And, you know, and it's like the investment needs to be there. And being that my background for the past, you know, 15 or so years now has been on the more premium side, I want to do that for my community, which is not just the hairdresser and the beauticians, but the people who also look like me in my industry. Yes. And so that is the focus of my company.
Thank you. Yes. Again, you guys hit the nail on the head. I just had a conversation regarding us investing in our own and taking that same energy that we place somewhere else to invest in our own community. And same thing with tapping into that innate potential and having that awareness to be able to scan what it is that your love is in order to start your business. I love it. 100%. Thank you again, you guys. Let's see, our next question, we're going to gear it towards networking. And I'm going to throw it to you, Latanza. What are the spaces you use to connect with clients and colleagues? Latanza, you're on mute, sorry.
Sorry, everyone. I first want to say that Priceless Moments is a client-driven and centric company that really focuses on a lot of moving parts in a lot of different industries. So I feel when it comes to networking, it really is the route to success and really the route to enhancing everyone's skill sets, and everything that people individually bring to the table. Networking has always been something that has come very natural for me. I like to consider myself a social butterfly. So, and being in corporate America for, I'll say, 7 years prior to starting Priceless Moments, I was in operations and management and logistics. And through networking just within that sector, it made it that much more easier for me to transition into Priceless Moments with having already resources, clientele, and partnerships that I've already aligned. I think regardless of where you are day to day, you know, if you're at the grocery store, if you're at the gas station, if you're at a hybrid event, you know, a Zoom call or a Zoom event, I think connecting with someone is always most valid and is always most important because you never know what that person might know. You never know what that person might bring you. And I instantly very much believe in just relationships building in general, because I feel that as a collective, if we are empowered as a whole, then everyone succeeds, everyone thrives, everyone flourishes, everyone pretty much, benefits off of each other. So I think networking is something that everyone should definitely focus on and continue to really drive home, because it really is the root to everyone. I mean, we're all different ethnicities, we're all different, we're men, we're women, we're different genders, we're, all these different encompassing things on a daily basis. And it really takes that simple conversation to have with somebody to say, hey, this person is great in this aspect. Like for me, I am very much a connector, so I know a lot of people in different industries, and when someone is like, hey, I need someone for this, here goes 3 contacts, here goes the websites, here goes the contact information, go ahead and connect. I'm very big in connecting everyone, because again, as a collective, we are home, and there's a lot more that we can do together than apart. So networking is very huge in an everyday basis.
Yes, thank you. How about you, Tanya?
So listen, I think that it's important for a lot of people to understand, not everybody went to college, right? But for those of us that did, I try to get young people to recognize that those relationships that you build in college and some in high school can become your part of your network, your professional network. We do what we do in college, we get grown. Hopefully most of these people are doing grown folk stuff too. And we can lean on them based on what our career paths are. Many of the people I deal with now, I went to college or was in a sorority or fraternity or had socialized with, and most of us are doing cool things. So keep your network growing. That's the first part. Secondly, as we get into our careers, it is hugely important that we participate in professional organizations. Yeah, that might be a little bit of a membership fee, but guess what? In everything that you do in regards to networking, you're going to get what you put into it. So don't just join the organizations, get active, become involved, nurture your interpersonal skills, nurture your professional skills, and people will connect with you again on a very authentic level. It is hugely important. That's why I say you have to be who you are. Don't be who you think people want you to be, because that's how people connect with you. Make sure we are always growing our networks. You don't have to isolate people. We, as women, Black women in particular, women of color, it should be a natural thing for us to support each other, right? It should. It doesn't always happen that way, but that's a natural thing, right? These other demographics, some of us have to learn how to do that, right? So it's important to be in professional groups that have various different kinds of people, and we learn how to connect with other people that we might not have been comfortable with. Our network is our net worth. And as a PR and branding and leadership in professional, for me, I work with so many different demographics, it just makes sense. But I also wanted to say, which is something most of us have done here, is when you don't have a space that works for you, create it. I started Lady Boss, a Facebook group. Is Facebook and LinkedIn, because I am tired of going in groups where they have so many different rules about when you can talk about yourself, when you can talk about this, when you can promote other people, you can't give out resources. Listen, we've spent 20 plus years building up our network. And if someone needs something that I have, I'm giving it to them. Now, I don't care if it's Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. That's what I'm doing. Because what am I going to do? Die with all this information? No, we have to start getting in a space and a spirit where we are happy sharing with each other, because I want to see you win. Your win is my win. My win is your win. I have been incredibly lucky and successful over this last year. And I took some time to look back on that. I'm going to talk about this in my workshop. There was women behind every freaking win. Yeah. So why not have a space where we can go and really embrace each other? I want to embrace your wins. If I'm having a problem, I want to be able to ask for resources or help and not feel like she's going to shade me. It's important that we create spaces that are nurturing to us, that are empowering to us, and it's free. We already have enough as women, professional women out there where we're working against men. A lot of us are in industries where we're the only woman. Listen, if you don't have the space that you want and you need to help empower you and move you forward, create it. And you're always welcome.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Let's go back to Noemi. Same question.
Yeah, okay. So I actually I'm going to start with a little bit of a story, okay, y'all, because I like to keep it real. I think this will connect also with some of you out there. When I first started my business, even though I was a school principal, I was a part of and Tanya spoke to the networks and the importance of that college network, Teach for America network. I worked for the largest charter school network in the country, right? But like, no lie, I was afraid to go out and network. Like I was stuck in my head for like the first 2 months. And I had to the importance of community and having people around you, people who are like, okay, like it's time for you to get out and go meet people and tell people about your services and what you're actually offering. And so what I found for me early on in my journey, even though I could talk about other people's businesses, but when it came to mine, I wasn't as confident. So what I did is I started to network with intentionality. I started to sign up to events, professional networking events, things that align to my vision, to my mission, the things that I was passionate about. The problem is initially when I would show up, I would make my way to go and speak to different people, but I would chicken out, right? Like I would back out and then end up going home and make an excuse in my head as to like why I didn't go and give them my card or talk to them about my business. I don't know if this resonates with anyone out there. What I found is that I had to like create a little plan for myself. So I committed to taking 3 business cards with me. All right. And if you need to write this down for yourself, I want to be able to offer you some very concrete tips. I took 3 business cards with me. Why? I could take a whole stack with me, but it wasn't about just giving out a whole bunch of business cards. I wanted to commit to having 1 to 3 really high quality conversations where I could really connect and get to know that person. So I would exchange the business card. Obviously, we're in COVID, not sure how much business card exchanging there's going to be, but you could also get a quick LinkedIn contact, right? Are you on LinkedIn? Let me go ahead and send you a message now, right? Or just put it straight into your phone. And what I found, and just put in the comments if any of this resonates with you, but I found that was really helpful. Also, in this digital space, I also made a commitment to follow up with that person within 24 hours with a next step. Come on, y'all. We gather a whole bunch of business cards and they go right in the stack. And it would annoy me. I'm like, everyone talks about networking, but now I have this stack of cards that I can't even follow up with. And so I just made a commitment to, within 24 hours, follow up with someone. Guys, ladies, quick secret on Instagram, you can voice memo someone really quick. So if texting is a lot, hey, and there's something about that, someone hearing your personalized voice and hearing your name, that's like, oh, wow, like she took the time to connect with me. By the way, LinkedIn, they have the same thing. You can send a quick voice memo. They hear your voice. It takes less than 30 seconds, ladies, to do that. And so because of that is largely why our company is literally growing exponentially. It's a little scary and we're going a little slower which is I'm okay with. But those are some tips that I have found have helped a lot of people.
Thank you so much.
I mean, that's a great segue. I'm telling you, those stack of business cards, I still have a shoebox full.
Right.
I understand. And you said something earlier about entrepreneurship looking real sexy. So we're going to get into our next question about life management. Oh my goodness, this is a good one. Share an experience where you saw the merge of life and your business. How did you handle that moment? What have you put in place to maintain a healthy lifestyle? And Noemi, if you want to get back in here, let's go.
I had to take a deep breath for that one. I'm like, ooh, that's a heavy one. Because what comes to my mind first is the fact that I feel like my life is I am my business right now, right? Yes. And so what I have found is that I had to make some commitments again for myself, and it took work. It took me replacing certain habits. For example, one habit that I used to have is I would wake up, I would grab my phone and I would immediately go into Instagram. Instead, I wake up, I grab my phone, I go into my Bible app because I'm also like really, I'm over here working with God and he's working with me. And so I open up my Bible app, I have a devotional and I read it. I express gratitude for 3 things. I literally spend the first 2 hours of every morning, and I wake up early. Yeah. The first 2 hours of every morning at least, pouring into myself, reading, right? I have a guidebook like that I'm reading for 40 days. And then I go to the gym, right? And there are certain days where I don't make it to the gym in the morning because my morning might start earlier. So those are some of the things that I have to do. And by the way, it is also in my schedule. So just the way we schedule everybody else on our calendar, and everybody taps into our calendar to schedule themselves into our calendar, I highly encourage all of us to really prioritize us, ourselves, and make sure that we have those times, those date nights, whatever it is with your spouse, into your calendar.
That's excellent. New habits. Yes. Let's go with, let's see. Miss Monique, what can you share on this topic? This question.
Well, it's so funny. It's like Noemi and I had the same prayer almost, because I literally wake up at 4:30, but I do that just to sit there for 30 minutes. And then, and then I break out my Bible app because I used to go on Instagram or what have you. And I would get it in because I had to put God at the wheel of everything I do. And just to go back a little bit, just so everyone knows, what really pushed me to get into my entrepreneurship 100% is when I came to California, it was on medical leave from my full-time job back in New York. And I had a condition that stemmed from working very, very hard. From a previous job, dealing with microaggressions and things of that nature. And so it's like I was experiencing my own pandemic before the pandemic. And I had to figure out, how do I maintain my passion for something that I had kind of started, which was an idea back in 2016, and make it come to life when I can barely look at the computer more than 2 hours at that time, where I couldn't walk, longer than a block before getting a migraine, different things of that nature. And so I knew that I had to go to all of my appointments. I had to take all my medicine and things like that. But really, it was just like putting my spirituality in place and letting it take me through. And that really is the honest to God truth. And, I hope I don't offend anyone with my position on that. And that is how I maintain balance. Obviously, I'm very transparent with my clients as far as time, appointments, not doing more than what they signed up for. That's super important as an entrepreneur. If you have a client, when you contract them, it's not, hey, I'm going to manage your Instagram and I'm going to do your copy for your website and I'm going to do those things. Those are all line items that you want to manage, because what happens is, if you feel like you need to give them more than what they signed up for, your whole balance track just will shatter. That is not what you want, especially when someone like me, who does have a medical condition that is, becoming much, much more better. I don't let it run my life. I run it, and everything is all good. And I'm very thankful, but I thought it was super important to express that to you all, which is actually one of the primary reasons why I wanted to do this panel, because you never know what you're dealing with.
Yes. Amazing. Thank you, Miss Monique. Woo! Yes. Is there such notes? Light up the comments. Light up the comments.
Yes.
Let's see those hearts. Oh
yes, I wrote quite a few. Let's see. It takes a village, relationship building, keep your network growing, join professional organizations, be authentic, because if you're not authentic, once again, that business model is going to crumble. Extend your reach, right? Get outside of your comfort zone with those 3 business cards. I felt you on that. That's on my heart. I felt you. I'm right there with you. So let's jump into our next question, which is money management. Money.
Where the money resides.
Where the money resides, right? Ingrid, let's hear your opinions on, can you please share your tools that are in place to grow your business and maintain your lifestyle? You're on mute.
Who muted me? So I've never had as much access to the cash that I have, the cash flow that I ever have in my life. And I make really, really good money. Okay. So that means that I am responsible for everything. I don't have a company automatically taking out my taxes, right? So my first piece of advice is, no matter how small your business is, get a business manager or an accountant that can set you up for success, that can set you up for growth, that will put the right amount, the right percentage of money away. That even like right now, I have to send 1099 forms out to people that I've contracted to come that have worked with me, right? So get a business manager in place that can really like say, hey, we may want to lean into maybe an LLC now, or expanding how you do business. That's the first thing. And someone that can rock with your business model, somebody that gets your vision and where you want to go, right? Because it's not about the money you make now. Again, for me, it's 3-5 years. I'm trying to get mailbox money. So if that's the case, then how do I do that? What do I need to do to put in place now? So that's the first thing. The second thing is to pay Tiffany Sterling. Hi, Tiff. The second thing is to pay yourself first. And then, so you got to figure out what your worth is. And that's what you pay yourself. And then you save the rest. You put the rest up. The third thing I would say is, wherever possible, don't spend your own money to invest in your business. There are all types of business loans. Is it going to mean that your paperwork that your accountant or your business manager is putting together for you is going to have to be together? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, you're not spending your money. And business loans right now, the percentage on them is, the payback percentage is very, very low right now. But again, it's going to require a business plan. What are you doing? What's your plan? So many times, I just saw this meme the other day. My daughter posted it, and it was so true. It said, capitalism wasn't created for everyone. It was not. Because most of us, our capital is our bodies. And when our bodies expend or get tired, our capital is gone. So again, what are you doing to create a business model that takes you out of it and allows the business to exist and still have your same sensibilities, right?
That's good. Oh, that's good. Yes, agree. Latanza, same question.
So I would very much agree to what Miss Ingrid has already said. I would say the first step in even looking at a business is so easy in a sense to start a business. But I think that that avid focus and purpose to sustain as a business is more important. I think when you start a business, from your model to your structure to your milestone plan, which should be, 3 months out, 6 months out, a year out, 5 years, all these different variables of goals that you might want to attain. I think accounting and your financial accountability should automatically be a part of that. It should be encompassed in your business zone, because as we all know, and if you don't know, a lot of businesses are started within the first to third year, and not a lot of businesses make it past that third year. That's really the pivotal time where you are, seeing what works, what doesn't work, how you want to shift, how you want to pivot. And, as you sustain as a company, it goes into your 5, your 10 year, your 20, and so down the line. And accountability, you definitely want to have a financial planner, as well as someone who is really keeping you on track as that money is rolling in. As we all know, a business is supposed to make money. Whether you're doing a service, whether you're providing a product, your business is supposed to make money. That goes along with professionalism, customer service, the top-notch experience for your client or your customer. But at the same extent, when that money is coming in, it needs to be tracked. It needs to be in a QuickBooks, Intuit, tracking, a financial planner, accountant, someone who is scaling your money as it continues to roll in. And also, where once you have this money coming in, it's really important to see how you're investing that money. Again, we all work hard. We want to flourish as entrepreneurs. We want to, get to that next level. But in my philosophy, you work hard, you play harder. So whether it be you making sure that you're tying in that time for yourself to make sure that your money is flourishing, if you're investing in properties, if you're investing in other, affiliated things, it's a great thing. We have a lot of affiliated partners that we work with, just with our various of different events. And you have to make sure that everything is taxed in order. The last thing you want is for the IRS or Uncle Tom to come to you and say, what are you doing in your business? You want to have that all intact prior to any of that even being allowed to happen. Not only will it keep you on track for having a successful and productive and, fruitful business, but at the same time, it's keeping you in line to the success and longevity of your business. I always say, we're going on 5 years as of January of next year, which we're very excited for. But mentally, I'm at, how am I going to get to 10 years? How am I getting to 15 years?
Yes.
I'm trying to, I want to retire by 45. That's my personal goal. So it's like, how are we going to make that happen? And I'll still be in the workforce. We'll still be making money. But how does your money make money in your sleep? That's to me, that's the objective, and that's how it should be. Because when you put the principles and just the talent and your core, competencies of what you and your business encompasses, the money is going to come, the money should come, and make sure that you have all of those right tools in place to make it as easy and copacetic to basically continue to furnish and influence a team. If you have a team coming on, if you have affiliated people that you work with, overall. So I think having those tools and those skill sets will help align, but also keep you on the right track as you expand and elevate.
I absolutely love this. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Latanza. I am passionate about women going to get the money, especially women. You must get comfortable talking dollars. Not saying let's talk big bucks, because it's there for you, and we historically do not ask for it. We'll give our heart and pour everything out. Go get your money, girl.
Yes.
Go get it. And so one of the things is I want everyone to remember, attract, number, grows. And I heard Latanza say that, and Ingrid, you have to track. And if you're not good at tracking, hire someone that is. Get excited. And Ingrid, you said something about mailbox money. I love mailbox money. So
me too.
What is mailbox money?
Mailbox money is passive income. That's how it's referred to in the business world. If you ask Nipsey Hussle, that's money that you go and you get checks, right? You don't have to work for it. You know it's coming. And, I think if you're in a multi-level marketing business, that extra, those overrides, that money that comes that you don't necessarily have to work for, it works for you, is mailbox money. It's, I think Ivana said it, it's making money in your sleep, right? And so it's creating a business model that says, for instance, in my business, if a facilitator comes in and books gigs off of my platform, they pay me a percentage of that, and then they take the rest of the money.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
That mailbox money, I'm telling you, it's like Christmas. You like, oh, this money. And you did work.
We can all get paid. I always say that we can all eat.
Listen. Yes.
We have an amazing panel, and we have amazing guests that are viewing, and we want to thank you for your time. And we're going to ask each one of our panelists to speak to this next question. The title of today's panel: Confident, Courageous, and Creative. What makes you confident, courageous, and creative? And let's see. I'm looking at Miss Monique. Let's start with Miss Monique.
Putting myself first. That's super important for me. And when I put myself first, all you see is me when I go into the room, when I'm speaking and engaging, being transparent, and being thorough in what I say I can offer, rather if it's who I am as an individual or what I can do in my business, and not doing more than what I can do. And if I can't do it, I will find a way to do it. And that keeps me very confident and very courageous, inside of my business.
Let's see. Latanza, what makes you confident, courageous, and creative?
So I would definitely say being unapologetically and genuine me. I feel that whenever I walk into a room, depending on who I interact with, if it's in this organization, that organization, in this industry, that industry, I am the same person around. I am a burst of sunshine. I am a boss. I am direct. I am, the life of the party when I have energy. All these great things that kind of builds into who I am when I walk into the room, which is very confident. I will say in terms of courageous is being able to walk into my own lane and not have to look or steer ahead because someone else might be doing this or someone else might be doing that. I'm very into my own, desires, my passions, and what we do. Of course, being in light of everything else, but I know my passion is my passion and my drive is my drive, and it is what is innate me, and it's a part of my foundation. So it is basically how I live, how I breathe, and how I operate daily. And the creative aspect of me is innovation at its finest. I love to make a way out of no way. In COVID, we have all pivoted in different ways, different lights. And if I was not creative, or innovative, I could get easily just pushed down and okay, but I've literally maneuvered and have made a way and have made it happen. And I don't accept no. I make it happen and I keep going and I am the light. So that's what makes me all encompassing 3.
Love it. Ooh, pivot. That's a key highlight. Highlight it, underline it, circle it. Miss Ingrid, what makes you confident, courageous, and creative?
It's not deep. Knowing who I am and whose I am. We all have purpose in our life. And so many of us think our purpose is the thing that we do. The purpose in my life is to empower and transform. So regardless of whether I'm selling real estate or I'm working at Burger King or I'm sitting down as the founder of my company and I'm speaking to the folks that have just hired me, right? My job is always going to be to empower and transform. And so you have to really focus on what your purpose is. So of course, all of those other great things happen because I'm functioning in my purpose. At the end of the day, whether you agree with it or not, in heaven, your name is written and what you're supposed to be doing is there as well. So when you decide to walk in that, everything changes. And all of those things come alive and so many more other adjectives become a reality for you.
Ooh, yes, Lakeisha, knowing who I am, whose I am. Ingrid, you said a word. You said a word, Ingrid. Oh, girl. So before we go to our next panelist, we want our guests to get ready. We're going to allow you to answer or ask a few questions. So if you have something that's in your gut and burning in your heart, write it down because we're going to come to you. Next up, let's see, Miss Noemi, confident, courageous, and creative. Tell us about it.
So I think of 3 things when I think about confident, courageous, and creative. And honestly, they're very much in alignment with what everyone said really before me. Number 1 is knowing and standing in that I am uniquely qualified to do the work that I do and that there is no one else that will do it the way I do it. Right. And I think that we need to be reminded of those things because sometimes we get discouraged when we see other people doing the same thing. But the thing is that no one can do what you do the way you do and the way you were gifted and called to do it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is having an unwavering faith. And really, this is all about what Miss Ingrid said, knowing who you are and whose you are. So I'm just going to echo that. And the third thing is the reminder that although I come as one, I stand as 10,000 that came before me.
That's right.
And it is that reminder of knowing that I am paving that many that came before me paved the way and that it is still my responsibility to take the baton and continue this work.
Yes.
Woo! Yes. Okay, I'm just gonna say
words.
I love one of us are hearing that.
Yes, words that were said. I love everything. I have a quick question. I'm gonna throw it to you guys. It takes a lot of mental fortitude to be an entrepreneur, right? How do you guys take care of yourself? What coping skills do you guys use? How do you handle that? Anyone, please take it.
Let's go with Tanya too.
I like to make lists.
Oh, sorry. I skipped you, Tanya, sorry.
To answer that question, because that's a great question, and someone has actually asked me that before, especially since I still have a lot of contractors that I work with. I make lists and I prioritize them. And I don't do more than what I can handle, but just knowing how to delegate the projects and knowing your team's strengths is the best way to know that your business is going to operate with fluidity and you're going to satisfy your clients. And then also I can sleep better at night, of course. And aside from that, from just a personal way that I balance it all, is I just sit down and listen to music and like don't do anything else. It's okay to just hang it up, because if you didn't get it done, as long as you have prioritized, it will get done. And have a team that you can trust and make sure you trust yourself. And if you're not sure of what you have going on, then circle back and revisit your plan.
Yes, thank you.
Trust yourself. Yeah.
Thank you. Can we jump back really quick? Sorry about that. Then we're going to jump back forward. So I'm going to give you guys time to think about your coping skills, but we're going to jump back really quick to get Tanya's answer on confident, courageous, and creative. You're on mute, Tanya.
Got it. All right. So I'm going to give you a story real quick, and it encompasses all of them. I am a gun violence survivor, and I'm not someone that sits around and I'm not a moper. I am a change maker. And if there's things that I don't like, I find a way to not just complain about it. I am a habitual complainer, but I try to help fix it, right? So we all know we have a gun violence issue in this country. I am currently, was recently named a spokesperson for Everytown and Mom's Demand. Part of that is telling my story to legislators to get things to change. I work with a lot of women that are survivors that need to tell their story. As a publicist, a PR professional, I get a lot of inquiries about having people speak about their experience or survivors networks and things of that nature. So I'll go to some of these women and I'll be like, hey, you know, I have an opportunity for you to tell your story, can get paid for it, help with this broadcast that they need someone like you. And many of them will not do it. They're just like, oh my God, I'm not ready. I can't. I'm not even comfortable with my own story. I am someone that has become comfortable with my own story. That is my confidence. Understanding that my story is mine alone, but also understanding that that story is helped me become who I am. Leaning into my story and my experience is something that I am able to now, instead of shy away from or be embarrassed about, it's really taking it in, acknowledging it, and using the parts of it that help me become better, using the parts of it that help me acknowledge who I am, how I got to that place, and connect with other people. Courageous, yes, I will tell my story. I'm no longer embarrassed about things that happened in my past, mostly because I was a kid and I did not have control of those. So having control over my own life and my experiences now allows for me to also show my creativity. How can I use that to help other people? How can I use that to connect with other people? And how can I use it to continue to be a change in this world and help others? So I have come to this place of being confident, tell my own story, courageous, not being afraid of it, and creative, using it to help others and connect with others to do the exact same thing.
Wow. Resiliency. Yes.
Yes. So back to the question that I asked. So we're going to go back to the other panelist of that mental fortitude and how do you take care of yourself? What are some coping skills that you use?
Yes. Wine. Since I'm old, I'm just going to tell you, a little vino helps when things get a little crazy. No, you need to find what works for you. I think everybody has something that soothes them. I like to laugh, but sometimes it takes you a minute to figure out what is it that calms my spirit? What is it that can get me back on track? And I ain't gonna lie, most of y'all that are on this call know a little vino and a couple chuckles will get me reinvigorated to keep going on whatever tough task you have ahead of you.
Yes.
Tanya, touching on your beach experience too. Tell the people about the beach.
Okay. So I live in Redondo Beach. I like to I like to go to the beach, but it's not for the reasons that most people would think. Listen, I use waves as a way to motivate me, right? Real quick, I run by the water, but I run, sometimes you start getting slow, right? Those waves, when they get to hitting, will make you move faster. They give you that, okay, water's about to get me, I need to pick it up again. So I look at the waves like my friends. I look at the waves like my sorors. I look at the waves like my peers. I try to have waves in my life to keep me progressing and pick me up when I'm moving slow. So when I have a lot on my mind, every day I try to go run because I get things off my mind. That's my me time before I give it to everybody else. And it really gives me the opportunity to that solitude, that clarity, right? And if I start going too slow, then waves get me moving. And always somebody I know that is in my head. It could be my sorority sister. It could be one of my board members that reminds me, girl, pick it up. You know, we got to go. We got stuff to do. But I really use the beach as an opportunity to get my solitude, get my mind right, remember to keep my list up to date, get my calendar in order, and really power through my day. So when things aren't going right, I go get some of them waves to get me back on track.
Love it. Love it. Thank you for that. Anyone else? No.
I will go ahead and go, ladies. I would just say, as entrepreneurs and just as women, and all that we do, and all the different aspects of what we manage in our lives, I think having just a me time, whether it be once a month, whether it be every other weekend, whether it be you getting away as a staycation, you getting your nails done, like keeping those enriching things that you love and that you just do to yourself. I mean, there's I'm not gonna say what days, but there's days that I might just turn off my phone. I might put a do not disturb during a certain time frame. I'm not being disturbed. I'm doing whatever I want to do. I'm the DVR queen. I'm catching up on shows, and doing what I would like to do. So I think that that's very important because we're just always doing as women, and sometimes we just have to slow down and say, this time might not be carved in, but I'm going to take the time and I'm going to do this consistently for myself once a month, every other weekend, every 3 months, whatever it looks like for you. I think it's just important to remind ourselves because it's just so much going on in the world all at the same time. And most importantly, we are powerhouse women. So we're always doing it. We're driving it. And we can't lose ourselves in the midst of everything that we do daily. So I think that is very, very important.
Oh my goodness. You had a lot of head nods with the do not disturb. And it goes back to that prioritizing you first.
I think I would add on to that really quickly too, is that I think you got to do it with where you got to spend time with people and things that bring you joy, period. Right. There are certain things and certain people that genuinely bring me joy. And I'm an introvert. I'm if you know me, you wouldn't think that. I love being by myself. I'm an only child. I grew up reading. Like I'm cool by myself, right? But at the end of the day, there are certain people and certain environments that when I step into them, it just makes me happy, right? And so I think you got to know what your happy place is, because sometimes your happy place is like right now with my boys gone, like here by myself. This is a happy place for me, right? Just being able to center yourself in happiness and joy. Joy is something that we command. It's not innate. We have to challenge ourselves for it every single day.
Yes. Snaps. Snaps.
I like that something that Noemi said earlier about when you grab your phone first thing in the morning. We all do it. Don't play like you don't. We all do it. But the first thing she does instead of going to Instagram is she goes to her Bible app. She goes to her devotional. It might be a great idea if you have affirmations on your wall that when you turn and look at the wall, you have your I am statement. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. That's good.
Love it. 100%.
And Sharifa, something I want to just kind of happen there. Maybe you should share too. This being your profession, one of the things I advocate, I have set Sunday as a self-care day. Now I will take self-care anytime, but on Sunday, I start my day with a 5K and I plan I plan, and make sure that there is something that is going to bring me joy and happiness in that day, no matter what the day looks like. Like on Sunday, you're going to find me celebrating Mosi and caring for Mosi.
Yes, I agree. I tell clients all the time, if it's 10 minutes daily, take that to yourself. I just had a conversation with someone yesterday that I always give the example of, if a plane is going down, the emergency situation they tell you is put the mask on you first, because you can't give what you don't have. So you have to take care of yourself on a daily basis. Someone called me last week. I'm not going to say who that someone is because they're part of this program. She said, "What you doing?" I said, "Doing what I want to do." Minding my business, not trying to work. That's exactly what. So you have to set boundaries, especially when you own your own business. You have to be able to set those boundaries and that time aside to say, I'm taking care of me. I need to step away for a moment. And it's probably very, very hard to do, right? When you're your own boss, and if you don't work, maybe the money don't come in. But then it goes back to that mailbox money, right? You want to set yourself up to where you're making that passive income, so you have more time to take care of yourself. So I agree 100%. I tell people, if you sit in the car before you walk in the house, that's fine. If you take a long shower just to get away from what's going on outside, that's your time. Do crossword puzzles. I don't care what it is, as long as it brings you fulfillment. Do that daily, weekly, whatever you need to do.
And as we go to our audience, Sharifa, Ingrid said something that I want to make sure everyone caught and highlights. You may have to discover your happy place. And so be patient with yourself as you discover what brings you happiness and how to tap in and command your joy. And recognizing the signs that you're starting to leak, as when I see one of my friends on, Jennifer, says, when you're starting to you're getting low, your resource, your well is low. You got to recognize what those signs are. Are they too many styrofoam cartons in a refrigerator? Are you starting to grit your teeth a little bit more, or cock your head and got a little sass, and you need to refuel? So you be patient with yourself as you find what it is that brings you happiness and joy. But guess what? Go on a journey to discover it. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. So let's look at our guests in our audience. Were there some questions that anyone wanted to have a desire that our panelists answer in these next couple moments? Put it in your comment section.
Yes.
And if there's anything else from our panelists that you just want to highlight for our guests and our viewers who will watch this later, speak to it. This is your opportunity.
Therapy. Some of y'all need therapy. Some of us sitting here need therapy. Therapy. It's a good thing. Let me tell you what else is a good thing. Whether you agree with it or not, an antidepressant. I've had to take one for a period of time. I'm not on it anymore. But at the end of the day, there are some of us that are in places where we are pushing ourselves and we are not open to other means. Does not mean you don't love God. It does not mean you don't trust him. Does not mean that. But sometimes you have to be open.
Ingrid, I want to second that, because before I came back to California, I saw a therapist. It was only one session because I was about to get on a flight to come here. But he told me something that made me know for sure I was making the right decision. Is that, like one of you said earlier, if you can't save yourself and it's not doing nothing for you, then go on and live. And being sick, being in an environment, trying to fight through because the money is good and things like that, knowing what your passions are, go seek therapy, talk to someone about it. They will assure you of it. And you live your life for you.
Yes. Yes. I love that you guys said that, because so often in our community, it's such a taboo topic. People are afraid to seek therapy, and people think when you go to a therapist, it's always about something problematic or something's not going well. It's not necessarily true. You can come see us if things is going well and you need a sounding board. That's what we're here for. So definitely, I love that you guys brought that up.
I'd love to just add something here, and this is probably more so advice for maybe even leadership coaches and people who are looking for leadership coaches. You know, I coach through one of our programs. It's focused specifically for women of color and education leaders. These are women who are school principals, district leaders, who obviously like are in spaces where there are not many faces that look like them. And, you know, with a lot of our clients, what we find is that sometimes even before you can get to the leadership stuff, we gotta like unpack some of the things that we're carrying.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of organizations right now that are doing the tokenized hires. That's what you know what I mean? Like, oh, we're checking boxes. We're bringing in, we need X amount of C-suite people that are, you know, Black women. We need this, and this, but they are not equipped nor have the capacity to sustain, like with us, with all the magic, understand that there comes some fire. Like we done been through something. And so and so we need that kind of support system. And so my point here is for leadership coaches, making sure that it's okay. You're going to get like, you can give people leadership tools all day, but if they themselves haven't, you know, resolved or healed from me, or aren't aware of how they have dealt with conflict growing up, but the conflict is showing up in how they lead, we really, those tools are only going to go so far. So whether you're on the leadership coaching side, or if you are on the side of, you know, I need a leadership coach, I'm in leadership right now and I don't feel like I have a space to go to, interview your coaches, make sure that you know who you are investing and opening up to. So that's all. I just felt like I needed to say that.
Ooh, yep. There's a saying in business, real quick, that says, culture eats strategy for breakfast, right? So in that same concept, if you're self-doubting, if you're defeatist, when you start that business, it's going to kind of bleed into it. So even if you fake it till you make it, I tell people that all the time, fake it until you make it. Write those affirmations that you turn and look to when you wake up in the morning. Get people in your circle that feed into you so that can bleed into your business. So I love that you said that.
I just facilitated a session on knowing your value yesterday. And we had a good friend of mine who's a Black male come in, who did it for Mika Brzezinski. He went on tour with her. His name is Val Nicholas. And I strategically asked them to let Val come do it, a man come do it. And it was an ally event. It was like, bring a man with you to come sit in this room with you. And so many of the things he said, we as women don't embrace. And we've touched a lot of them here. We make apologies. We start apologizing before we even get there. We've already put ourselves in the position down here. We're afraid to ask for our worth and ask for our money. But then we also don't have the numbers behind why we deserve the money, right? But there's so many opportunities, even within the leadership coaching space, to Noemi's point, where I'm sitting with CEOs every day and I'm challenging, look, you know, I'm sorry, white women are more palatable to white men. Why? Because white men have white mothers. That's a hard conversation to have with somebody. They have white mothers, white wives, white sisters. I also know that my skin color allows me to say things other people can't, because I also realize there's a level of privilege that comes, right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not saying it's right, but it's real. Yeah. So I can go in and speak truth to power in a way that maybe somebody else may not be able to, right? So I give 2 chops to the throat and a hug every single day.
Yes. Wow.
Real quick, I just wanted to say, imposter syndrome is the devil, and the devil is a lie. So I just want my girls out there to recognize that when someone is celebrating you, you deserve that. Okay. So even more so, I need y'all to celebrate yourselves. I need to see that, because that helps me to celebrate myself and to also celebrate you. Like it has come a time where we need to really open up to the fact that, yeah, I am as pretty awesome as I think I am. Imposter syndrome is definitely a lie, and we need to do as much as we can to defeat that, which happens to hold us back in those spaces, right, where we are the only faces that look like us.
Yeah.
Get excited, guests. This is the conclusion of our panel. If you notice, our panelists do have their handles, and NOZ, I'm quite sure, will tag everyone so that you can follow. And yes, we need to give ourselves our flowers, celebrate each other. And I want to personally thank each of our panelists. You are amazing. You are confident. You are courageous, and you are creative. And we thank you for this space and this time. Sharifa?
Yes, thank you guys as well. Appreciate all the gems and the tools that you guys dropped. I hope that the audience were taking notes. If not, like Mosi said, their information is in their handles. Please Google them, look them up. Women, let's empower each other, right? So thank you guys again. I truly appreciate everything that was shared on this stage today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, stay
Thank
tuned.
you, Queen.
We're going into a workshop series. What we want you to do is to share this link, like it, save it, and share it. Like it, save it, and share it, because you're going to want to come back and re-listen to these tools. This is like $10,000 worth of knowledge, wealth, and over 50 years of experience.
It's money. Who wants to make some money? We can take it on the road. Let's do it. Who wants to make some money?
Yes.
So thank you, panelists. Thank you for your dedication, your time, and your insight today.
Yes. Thank you. So the show does not end here, doesn't stop, right? We're moving forward. We're taking it over to Zoom. We have an amazing workshop series that is coming up. The details should be scrolling across your screen. If not, you should have received an email that has the Zoom links available. Yeah. So Mosi will read the bios, but we have 3 amazing workshops coming up led by Tanita Harris, Tanya McKenzie, and Chanel Tyus. Mosi, can you introduce our workshop?
Let's do it. Oh, okay, we already started with the 1-2. Like, I need you to probably grab your seats, because the next workshops is coming. They're just as brilliant and courageous and creative. So let's start with our soror, Tanita Harris Lagons. She's a creative of Movement Heals. Oh my goodness, I just love her. Move your body, shift your mindset, community and healing, and integrative. Tanita has been teaching dance to both adults and youth for over 24 years. She has trained in jazz, modern, tap, ballet, hip hop, and theater, and extensive studies. Okay, say extensive studies, training and passion for African and Afro-Caribbean dance and folklore. She loves connecting the dots between many different dance forms and discovering other cultures through dance. She is currently the principal dancer of a West African company, a performance coach for up-and-coming pop and R&B artists, and she's a proud triathlete. She's a wife and mom to 3 amazing sons, a daughter of 6 siblings, a sister to many, and an ambassador for living your best life through movement, and a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. That's Miss Tanita. She's coming up in the workshop. You met one of our next workshop presenters, Miss Tanya, as our panelist. And so I'll just kind of highlight a few things that she may not have said, but she brings over 20 years of experience in public relations, leadership, marketing, and client relations. She's also a member of our beloved sisterhood, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, a current Los Angeles County Commissioner, an alumnus of Northridge, and 4 amazing children, a set of twins, and has been married for over 19 years. Amazing powerhouse couple. We love you, Mackenzies. And next up, Miss Chanel Tyus. Okay, she's strategic, multi-passionate, creative, a mompreneur. Shout out to the mompreneurs. I love y'all. CEO of SKD Creative Inc., which is named for her late mother and Grammy, and the creative talent that nurtured and affirmed. She's a loud laugher. I love laughter. Okay. Pacemaker, a DIYer. Girl, I'm trying to figure out how to take this lavender bush into making lavender oil. Somebody help me. Okay. A Black creative and adult wife of 16 years, and a mama to 2 drummers marching to their own beats. And she is also a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, a follower of Christ, a lover of friends, food, and travel, rooting for everybody Black, and we are excited to see you on Zoom in the workshop.
Yes, yes.
Let's see. Okay.
Right.
So, the information is in your emails. It is also, let's see, is it in the comment section over here? Let me double check. And we're going to move over into our workshops. Sharifa, do you want to add anything else? It's been a pleasure moderating with you.
Same. It was fun, amazing. It was such an enriching experience. I'm glad we got to take part in it. I'm excited about these workshops.
Ooh, they are.
I'm
telling you,
over.
Talk about, you're going to be walking on air after today, and I hope inspired to make a difference and confident to move ahead and go get your money, girl.
Listen,
Go to the ballroom, right?
Listen, where the money resides. That's
where the money resides.
People like to act like that's not important, but it is, you know.
And you know what? And I think the other highlight I heard was prioritize yourself.
Yes.
Set that time before you do anything else.
Yes.
And dedicate to enriching your spirit, your soul, your body.
Yes. Building that network. Yes. Making sure that you're reaching out, right? Because we all have a network and it only extends so far. We have to get outside of our comfort zone. So that goes into that courageousness that you need in order to be an entrepreneur. So extend that network, reach out. I love that tool she gave of those 3 business cards, because that is me taking those stack of business cards and coming home with those stacks because you're scared to, you don't want to be obnoxious, or you don't want to, but it goes back to that getting outside of your own way, getting out of your own way, getting outside, powerful thinking, being intentional, right? And not self-defeatist. So I love that tip that she gave. It spoke to me.
Woo! It's been a pleasure today, ladies and gentlemen, guests, family, friends, panelists. We just humbly salute you. We celebrate you out loud, and we look forward to our workshop presenters and seeing you on the other side.
Yes.
And remember, like, save, and share this broadcast.
Yes. See you in a little. Remember, you can follow me or Mosi, and you can also follow the Valley Zetas on Instagram at Valley Zetas. Follow us. And we do have more events coming up for Fighting Womanhood tomorrow, our Laugh Out Loud comedy with Chocolate Sundays. So definitely, please continue to follow us. It's been an honor and a pleasure and much appreciated. See you over in Zoom.
Yay. And the Zoom links are on the screen.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
So awesome. It was just an amazing event. So thank you everyone for coming out. But before we go into our workshops, I would like to open up the floor again just to have our workshop presenters just to give a little bit about what you're going to see when you come into the workshops. So first up, I'm going to bring up Tanita Harris-Lagans. So Tanita, welcome to
your videos on Netflix.
There you go. We got you. I know you're probably already getting your workshop started. Hi, welcome.
Yes, we were just getting started on some introductions. Hey, everybody! If you're wanting to join me, my workshop is called Balancing Act: Self-Care, Self-Empathy, Self-Love, Self-Compassion. How to really get started. the women had some amazing things to say. And sometimes you just don't even know where to begin. You might be overwhelmed with your thoughts, your desires, and all the things that you want to do. And so this workshop is about you actually taking the time to go into yourself, go inward, and really tap into how you feel, what you need, so you can begin to put the practices and methods in place for you to become an entrepreneur, to expand your entrepreneurism, or even maybe touch a little bit on it. Maybe you want to dip into that and something else. So that's what this workshop is about. If you want to tap into that, come on over and join us, and we're going to have an amazing time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tanita.
All right.
So I'll see you over there. And
right.
I'm not sure if we have any of our other workshop panelists. They already probably jumped in there. So if you have not yet logged in, please head on over to hear from Chanel Tyus as well as Tanya McKenzie. And just tune in. It's going to be amazing. So you were definitely probably blessed by the panelists that we had. And I'm confident that these workshops are going to take it to the next level. So thank you. Make sure to follow and subscribe to the Valley Zetas, and we'll see you later. Thank you, everyone.